Alrighty, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Pathfinder tool today, but first I'm going to show you how to come back from locking an object you cannot select. So right now, my sky and my grass are grouped together. I'm going to go ahead and hit unlock all to make sure I can edit those. And now I can ungroup those as well, because I want to change the color of just the sky, not the grass. I'm going to make it kind of like a nighttime scene. So let's go to there. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about some of the functions of the Pathfinder tool to help you make more organic shapes. If I want to say, make a cloud. Let's go back to my white. That's not a cloud, that's a pancake. So what I could do is, you have to think in terms of stacking objects, is I can make a couple of those, either copying and pasting, or just directly going over top like so until I get a shape that I like. Don't like this shape yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. And again, these are all following ordering, and if I want to move them after I've created them, I need to make sure that I'm on my black arrow. So that looks like a decent cloud. What I can do now is I'm going to go ahead and lock my background again, because I don't want that moving and I don't want that grouped with anything. I can select, oops, I don't want to select the background. Quick tip, guys. If you hold the shift key while you select, you can select multiple things. I know Pittman likes to work off of the artboard space because it is easier to select just what you want instead of the background. I kind of have a mental block about that, so I'll let you guys choose whether or not you want to do that. So let's get to the Pathfinder palette. That is under Window. Mine is not currently showing. If it is, it's under a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to go down here. There's no check mark, so it's not showing. Should pop up in its own window. It's down here for me. It might pop up somewhere different for you. I'm going to click and drag it over here so you can see. There's a couple different shape modes. We have Unite, we have Minus Front, we have Intersect, and we have Exclude. The easiest one by far is Unite. You have to have all of your shapes selected in order, all of the shapes involved in the making of the United Shape, anyway, the United Shapes of America. And all I'm going to do is hit that button. And now I have one solid, nice cloud. Isn't that cool? And once again, if I wanted it to be a more realistic cloud, I could mess with the opacity. I could Command-C, Command-F to put another cloud in front of it and have like, ooh, fancy opaque clouds. That already looks a little more realistic. Now, say I wanted to make a moon. This is kind of why I was messing around and turning my scene to night. I don't want to change the color of that, so I'm going to deselect. I'm going to make a circle, and I'm going to fix the opacity because the moon is a solid object. And say I wanted to carve out part of the moon. Say I wanted a crescent moon. No, I want to move that. Here's where it's important to have a copy underneath what you're doing. If I go to hit minus, or actually that's a different one. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just make another circle, different color. I won't need this one, so I don't need to make a copy. If I want to make, let's see, I like that. So what I would need to do for minus front is I'm going to select both of those. And that blue circle is on top. It's at the front. So it should take that away, along with the intersection of the other shape. So here we go. There's my nice little crescent moon. And move that on up here. And I can rotate it. Okay. So there's a couple other things you can do to change and warp shapes. Let's take a look at a rectangle. Say I was making, I don't know, a little mushroom or something. I'm going to take my rectangle and make it kind of like a pale mushroomy color. I'm going to go up to Effect. I'm going to go to Warp. There's Warp over here. There's also Distort. There's a bunch of different ways you can change it. I'm just looking. They have since moved things around since they updated Illustrator, so I'm just checking. Distort and transform. Free distort is probably your best bet. Same idea as messing with your anchor points. You could distort that way, and it always shows you a preview. Now it's changed it. I could go up to warp, which picks like a, well, I'll just show you. Arc obviously makes it into an arc. You can change the settings on that. I think I want squeeze. Not inflate. I want squeeze. And this will squeeze it. Ooh, that's going to be really nice for a little mushroom. And we're going to be using a lot of kind of like layered shading in this particular class. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to paste in front. And I'm going to make that front one just a little bit lighter. Move it off to the side. Now I've got a nice little shadow that makes my mushroom stalk a little bit more realistic. Now say I want to make a cap for my mushroom. Could start with, that's a rectangle. That's not, I could start with a rectangle, but I don't wanna. Let's do a nice little circle. That would probably be fine, but I want a more cartoony mushroom. So I am going to, once again, go up to warp and play around with some of these, see if I like any of them. I don't have it selected, so that would be helpful. Got to make sure it's selected, guys, or it won't apply the effect. So arc would work pretty well. I'm going to hit OK. Now here's the thing about after you apply those transformations. Watch what happens when I go to just change the size of this. Well, it's not doing it for this. Whoopsie daisy, should have locked that. It's not doing it for this one, but sometimes when you go to either move or change the size of an object, that was interesting, that has been warped, you will find it doesn't keep its shape. So you're going to see me use the expand appearance function a lot. And all that does is it changes the paths. Right now I still have my regular ellipse path. I don't want that. I want my little arch path. So now that is going to stay the way it's supposed to. Alrighty, so this is the last one. This is the intersect. Say I want to add some spots to my mushed room. I'm going to add white. Whoops, I made my mushroom white. Deselect. I just click off by deselecting. Now let's try this. Nope, not what I wanted. Here we go. All right, so say I wanted to add a nice little spot right here, but I want it to go with the contour of my mushroom. I want it to go off the edge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of that spot because this function is the one that gets rid of your object entirely. I'm going to hit Command C, Command F. I'm going to select my mushroom too by holding Shift, and I'm going to hit the Intersect button. I made a copy of the wrong thing, guys. It's not the spot that needs a copy. It's a mushroom. Haven't finished my second cup of coffee. So once more with feeling. White spot. Want it to overhang a little bit. Mushroom cap. Make a copy of it. Command C, Command F to paste in front. Check to make sure it's there. It is. Command Z if you want to undo a move you did. Now I'm going to select the top mushroom cap and my spot, and I'm going to hit the intersect option. Isn't that nice and neat? And we'll get into the exclude shape another time, but that's a real quick recap of using the unite button, the minus front, of using the warp functions, which are under effect, of using expand appearance, and how to use the intersect option.